Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you all had a great Christmas. And welcome back to the channel. It's another Christmas special, and I'm going to be reviewing the Christmas special of Beyond Paradise, which was a really great episode. I really enjoyed it. I like the sort of mystery behind it. It was a good episode of Beyond Paradise, and just brilliant. I do plan to review the Death in Paradise Christmas special, and that will come tomorrow. So that'll be out tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, and please watch that. So yeah, today I'm going to be reviewing the Beyond Paradise Christmas special. What I thought about it, how it sort of came about, and all that sort of stuff. Like what I like about it, stuff I found interesting, stuff like that. Really like. So yeah, let's get into the review. So the episode starts with this old man, and he's like on the bus, and he's drawing this smiley face, and then we sort of show a flashback of him doing his sister doing the same thing at the start of the episode, and so that's the last thing he had in contact with her, and he's got dementia, which I'll get into later, which is a very interesting story. I've never seen this done before. I think it's pretty cool. They have him, and he's drawing the smiley face on the window, and the same thing that she did, his sister did when they were separated as kids. So I think that was really a cool thing, but we'll get into that mainly. But it starts as normal Beyond Paradise, special really. I like these. These are really good. I love how you got Humphrey Goodman back, obviously doing his thing, and there's lots of twists and stuff like that. But basically, we also open inside like a bar, so some kind of like pubby bar sort of thing, and Margot, I believe her name is. Her nephew works there. His name's Robert, and he works there, and he like gives people drinks and stuff like that. He's a waiter, and he works there, and he doesn't really get along with his boss. His boss is a guy called Mr. Finch. I can't remember his first name, so he doesn't really get along with him, sort of thing like that. He's a bit miserable, a bit grumpy, and Mr. Finch sort of says, "Oh, you go home," sort of thing. He's a bit like he's not very nice, particularly. Very nice. And Margot's she's praising Robert, Bobby as she calls him, saying how he's a great guy and stuff like that. So she sort of praises him that he's amazing, and he's good at his job and stuff like that. But so basically at the police station, the following day, following morning, there is a bloke, and he's outside the police station, and he's laid down. He's laid down there, which I think is really cool. He's sort of he's laid down there, and he's got a photo of Humphrey in it, which I think's a bit there was a bit more mystery. Why has this guy got a photo of Humphrey in it? When I first saw the photo, I thought, oh, maybe it's a photo from Death in Paradise. Maybe there's some kind of link. Maybe he's related to Humphrey in some way. It wasn't completely. If I get into the reveal thing, massive spoilers by the way if you haven't seen the episode, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. But yeah, he's there on his doorstep, right, and he's got the photo of Humphrey in his pocket, and he says, "Oh, I'm looking for whoever he has the photo," and then he comes in and he can't remember his name. His name was something Hilton, I think that was his name. So something like that. I can't remember his name actually. So this old man guy, and they invite him in, and then they look after him in the police station. But also, whilst they're inside the police station, they bump into a guy who is the snowman. So there's a guy who's a snowman, and he's played by a comedian. And I've seen him in loads of other stuff before. I can't remember his name though, but he's a really good actor. It was really great that he was in it. And basically, there's this guy in it, and he's a snowman, and he's just in the corner, and he can't get his head off because it's super glued on. So some kids super glued it on or whatever, and they attacked him and threw him in the bin. But they all came and took him. Kelby came and took him, and they took him back to the police station. And then there's the snowman guy, and he's just there in the corner, and he's like, he knows about the thing. They tried getting the glue off and didn't work, and stuff like that. But eventually they did get it off, and he ended up, going back and to meet his girlfriend's parents for the first time, and he said he had a rash because he was nervous to meet them. So that was interesting. I thought that was a great thing. It was very funny that he was sort of just looking around like weird because he was obviously a snowman and stuff like that. So that was interesting to see. But yeah, that was a good part of it. And when they do invite the man who's obviously got some kind of dementia or something like that, they invite him in, and obviously they have to do a little questioning of like, oh, who are you? What's your name? And then Humphrey works out his name by he's his ring. It says a H on it, and then they find out his name. I can't remember his name now because it was a few days ago I watched the episode. But yeah, so his name was on the ring, and they so worked out, oh, your name is, and your sister's name is, and he kept on talking about his sister because that's the one thing he was clinging hold of in his memory, which is very sad. But yeah, so that was very great that he did that thing where they're trying to work out, and then they tried looking for anyone whose name is there. Then they discover that about they discover, so they find his daughter and stuff like that, and then his daughter comes in and he says, oh, the reason why I had a photo of you was because her dad wanted to look for a private investigator to find his sister before he lost his memory completely, and he was starting to lose his memory, but that was the only thing he was clinging hold of, which is why he was drawing the smiley face at the start of the episode, which I thought was a really cool concept, and I really enjoyed that. So that was really cool seeing that being done as well. So that was a cool concept, seeing him find that, and then his daughter comes up, and then they say, why he was looking for you, so private investigator and all that sort of stuff. So I had that coming back there because he wanted to help look for her. So they do look for her a little bit, but it turns out, surprise, surprise, you won't believe the snowman from earlier. His stepmother is the guy's sister. So they end up meeting, and it's all very nice, and they show them. Because his stepmother works, who is also the guy's sister, works at this place where it was like houses through the decades, Christmas through the decades or something. So Christmas 70s, 80s, 90s, 60s, all like laid out like that. So that was really interesting. It shows, and it also showed them sat down in one of, I believe it's the 60s house, and then they're talking with each other there, and then it shows them as kids as well, which I thought was a really nice and sweet moment. Really, I thought it was really good. It was a really good episode of Beyond Paradise. I think these Christmas specials, I really enjoy them. They're brilliant. They are. Obviously, Chris Marshall, obviously great as always. But also after that, we then obviously all these links are made, and then we solve the who did the break-in, who broke into the shop. Who broke into the shop of the Mr. Finch guy. So his bar basically gets robbed, which happens at the start of the episode, and then turns out it was him. He did it because basically at the start of the episode, right, they find all the broken bottles of glass in there, but there's water on the table. There's water, which brings up a question: if they were all wine bottles, then why was there no wine on the table? But yeah, it turns out he'd put like an ice pack, right, like a pack full of ice or whatever, on top of the counter, and then put the 4 bottles of wine on there, and then they fall. They fall as if, because obviously it melts, the ice melts. So then it sets off the burglar alarm, and yeah, basically it was all planned. And then he comes in and puts the plastic bag in the bin, which is weird because they say Robert put the bins out sort of thing. When he actually properly put the bins out, and when they broke the locks, the thing went underneath, which assumed it went afterwards and stuff like that. So I thought that was a really cool concept. I really enjoyed that as well. But moving on to the other there's a big return actually. The commissioner is in this episode, which is really great because it turns out Martha has planned a secret wedding. So Martha plans a wedding for her and Humphrey, and they get married. It's a shame not all of the people from Death in Paradise were there, because I feel like it would be good if you would had Camille, JP, people like that or Dwayne had turned up, for the wedding or something like that. But it's a shame. But it was just the commissioner, and he was there, and he was his best man. Oh God, what's happening to me there? Best man. I don't know why I had a bit of a stutter there. He was the best man of the episode, so he was there with him. So he had their little chat together, and then he got married to Martha, and they went off, and they had their wedding, really, which I thought was a really interesting thing, because they were going to get married, I think, in Series 1, and they didn't get married, and in Series 2, I think they were going to get married, and they didn't, so in Series 3, Christmas special, they got married, so that was pretty good, so they ended up getting that done, which is amazing as well, and they can take the characters in another direction now. But yeah, I thought that was it was a really good episode. Um, I thought it was very interesting showing the dementia side of it, where he just remembers her. He doesn't, they say there's a quote that they say, "Oh, he doesn't remember what he had for breakfast, but he remembers her like, it was yesterday." And like he feels the pain of losing her more now than he did then, which I think's amazing. And at the end of the episode, they do reunite, and that's brilliant, as I mentioned earlier. Just a solid episode. I think this is really great. I'd give this 10 out of 10. It was brilliant. And I obviously like the snowman bit as well. That snowman guy was great, and he just looks there like he's staring into space and everything. Just a brilliant piece of writing, really. Beyond Paradise, I feel like at the moment as a show, I'm enjoying probably more than Death in Paradise. I don't know. I feel like Death in Paradise has lost something a bit, but I'm going to be reviewing the episode tomorrow, so I hope you stay tuned for that. I loved the Death in Paradise episode; it was great, but I preferred the Beyond Paradise episode. It was brilliant. But yeah. So that kind of brings me to the end of my video today. Please remember to like and subscribe. And a big thank you to getting us to over 300 subscribers. That just really means a lot. And hopefully we can get to 500 subscribers by the end of 2026, because that'll be amazing. And with your help, guys, we can get there, and you know we can achieve that, and that would be brilliant. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in a video tomorrow. Bye.